Recording.
Hello, you gorgeous creature. Welcome to the very first episode of what? ZFG Living, the podcast. I am Melissa Trumble. My company is ZFG Living, LLC. I published a book last year and there it is, Big Book of Bad Ideas, Adulting from Anxiety to Zero Fucks Given. I apologize if that offends you. If it does, you probably do not want to stick around, to be honest. Because that book is all about the fuckery and shenanigans that I put myself through. Decades of pain, of like, honestly, I couldn't torture myself better if that were my goal, right? It was horrible. Of course, hey, craptastic background and upbringing, aces. And I'm not making light of that, but I've done brutal rounds of therapy. Straight up. I mean, I knew that I could be better. I didn't understand, I didn't know what I had forgotten or suppressed, but I knew I could feel better. I could want to be alive. And I mean, in high school, I traded babysitting with a therapist because I knew I needed it. Right? Like, I rode my bike for miles to get to this person's house, babysit the toddler, and like it wouldn't necessarily be on the same day, but I would like bank up times. And so then I could go, every week, sometimes twice a week, and keep working things out. And that helped me a lot. And that was not my only round of therapy, because I would know, I'd be like, this situation that I'm in is exactly like that horrible situation I got out of. I got to talk to somebody. And it took a long time for me to remember things that happened in my childhood and to like identify that I wasn't weak because that was affecting me. I was human. And, as you're growing up, especially before the age of like 10, you're impressing into your mind how to live, how people live. And your model is your family or wherever you're living. So if that's not loving or good, and there are good aspects of my life as a child, definitely. My parents didn't have children just to torture them, but they got married young. My dad had a rage management problem, and my mom had been abused herself and did not comprehend boundaries or how to behave with anyone once they were past a baby, right? A lot of armchair psychologist stuff I could spout now, but hey, why bother? And what is my point? I know I have one. Oh, yes. Authentic, joyous living. That is my jam. Because if I can go through the hell and high waters that I have gone through and managed to cobble myself back together, I mean, a lot of duct tape, not going to lie, but guess what? Eventually the bones knit together. And if I can do that, you can. I'm not remarkable. I mean, I'm remarkable. We're all remarkable. Okay. We're all unique. We're all wonderful, all, God's or the universe's children. But I'm just saying everyone can do this. This is why Nelson Mandela kept his sanity when he was imprisoned. This is why Maya Angelou wrote, "I know why the caged bird sings." Because there's something within us that can sustain us during the horrors, and we can hold on to that so that it's kind of our life raft. It's something that can just give us that slight boost, right? Like a floaty in a pool or in an ocean, yeah, it can. It did for me. It did for me. And my mission is to help millions and millions and millions of wonderful people like yourself who's listening, watching, whatever, to see that we have resilience, we have resources, even if you say, I could care less, I couldn't care less, whichever way you're supposed to say that, or I don't give a fuck. Well, you have that to give. Your attention is a resource. Your time your compassion, your support, your humor, the ability to make a situation that is depressing funny, to lighten the mood, or to be really introspective and deeply understand things. There's just so many different ways that we are amazing and resources that we have and we don't recognize. The ability to find a place that can help us, the ability to look something up on an internet, maybe you have to walk to the public library to do it, but guess what? It's there. You can learn how to do that. Learn how to use the computer, learn how to use the internet. If you got a phone, a smartphone, look that crap up on your phone. I mean, it's so many resources that can help you in whatever way you're able to be helped, whatever you're willing to accept, and whatever you believe could possibly help you. Because if we don't believe it, it can't happen. And there are a lot of things that can happen, and we stop ourselves from having that happen or experiencing that just because we say no first. We say no first. Oh, nobody would, I have my own business. Nobody would buy anything from me. Nobody would want to hear. I mean, I've had such a ratchet life. Who would want to listen to how I solved problems? I'll tell you who. My people like me, people who perhaps don't even understand their trauma, but just know they can feel better. They can see things better. The world is not as grim. Perhaps you remember when sometime long ago, when you're excited to go outside, to go to school, to go play, just there was an excitement at some point. And that can be regained. I am not kidding you. I wake up every day and I'm just so excited. I'm just like, maybe somebody will DM me for my social media post. I might get an email from someone saying, hey, yeah, I do want to schedule that call. Because FYI, go to ZFGLiving.com, www.ZFGLiving.com, sign up for a complimentary, i.e. free call. I'm happy to talk to you for 30 minutes so that I can see, do I have tools for you? I mean, I've got digital tools, digital bundles, different worksheets and journals and resources. And, I can recommend books. Lord, I can recommend books out the yin yang. Where's my self-help section? Oh, wrong way, down there. My point being, there are ways to get help. I'm not here to sell my coaching package and whatever. I'm just here to let you know what worked for me and how, I hope it can help you. And that's why I wrote my book, right? I wrote this book, Big Book of Bad Ideas, because I knew that when I would share parts of my life with people, maybe new friends or whomever, they would be shocked that but you're so optimistic. How? And I'm just like, well, why wouldn't I be? I mean, yeah, the crappy things are out there, but the awesome things are too. It's all around us, all of it. Just like all kinds of people are around us. We pick and choose. If we pick poorly, we're bringing the crap in the door. And, I think I have a PhD in that. So let us gather our skills, gather our resources, and gather our will to create more authentic joyousness. So I do have a program of how I figured out, because I had to do it so many freaking times and pick myself up out of the whatever quagmire I dragged myself into, that I have steps. So let me bring them up because, not only do I rock the depression and the anxiety, a little soupçon of ADHD. Mais oui, thank you, chef. So I got to have a list in front of me or it's just going to be disastrous. The first part, brutal, honest self-assessment. This is harder than it seems because, we know why we do things, right? Just like the person who bumps past you on the sidewalk and doesn't say, excuse me. And you're just like, what? Are you trying to assault me? What the hell? Just like that person, isn't even thinking of that. We are not thinking of how we come across. We may not observe ourselves, We may not have ever seen ourselves on video. How do we talk? How do we gesture? I talk with my hands. I have a lot of inflection. People think I'm over the top, and you know what? For a lot of people, I am. But sayonara. Let the people that enjoy that stay, because I do have an excellent message, and I can increase joy in this world. That is my mission. I'm doing it. Okay. So once you've done your self-assessment, try to be like a scientist, just like, interesting. I noticed that when I'm tired, I'm snappy, and I say things in an ugly way, or whatever. Know that about yourself. Okay. So maybe ultimately one of the goals might be to learn to respond, not react to others and to situations. Okay. No shame in that game, right? And you're talking about character traits, things like dependability, work ethic, honesty, loyalty, all of that stuff, lifestyle. Okay. Do you lead a healthy lifestyle? Do you eat healthy? Do you, maybe fall off the rails on the weekends and it's just like pizza all weekend, or whatever, do you drink too much? Would you prefer to wake up more clear-headed? Do you not exercise regularly? And I'm here to tell you, regular exercise, and you don't have to run a marathon. I'm talking 20, 30 minutes a day. You will feel so much better. Everything is better. My ADHD, my anxiety, it staves off depression just as well as Wellbutrin. And don't worry, I'm on that too. And also I'm not against meds. So if you have a problem with meds to help bad wiring, I'm not sure I'm for you. But that's not relevant, because I am on personality, energy. Yes. Relationships, right? What kind of relationships do you have with your family, with your kids, with your partner, with your ex, with your, just people that How do you interact with people? Know that about yourself. What about spirituality? Do you believe in the beneficence of the universe? Do you believe the world is out to get you? Do you think that God is an angry and punishing God? Do you think that God is a goddess of love and light and chakras? There's so many different things to help us improve ourselves. That's why spirituality has institutions. It's people trying to be better. And I know they get jacked. I was raised Catholic. I know recovering Catholic institutions can be fucked up. But the point of starting them, I believe, was genuine. Okay. Extremists will take everything to the limit. Here in the United States, you got the KKK posing as Christians. What? No. Stuff like that, so it's not great. Some things aren't great, but everything's all around us. All right. So once you do your self-assessment, and I want you to rate it from 1 to 10, whatever it is that you think is important, right? You can get a list of character traits off the internet or lifestyle factors or whatever, but what resonates with you? What do you think is important? Or what do you want? You see your future self as being so much better at this. Okay. And so then you're going to move on to training your mind to see possibility. I cannot stress this enough. If you don't think it's possible, it's not. It's not. If you don't, in your heart, not just logically, logically, do I know that I could lose 100 pounds? I suppose I would have thought it, but I honestly, when I was 100 pounds overweight, I was just like, well, I'll probably die young. This is how it is, because I didn't see possibility. And it was not until I could see possibility that I started losing weight. And it took me years, but my lovey, I lost 100 pounds. I increased my health, my energy, my sleeping, all of it is so much better without the extra padding. Just everything is better for me. And, I'm not trying to undermine myself. I do believe that healthy weight it's critical to expansive living, and even just living okay. Why do you want to have joint pain? Yeesh, it's no bueno. And so if you see things as possible, if you can imagine, what if I could live joyously? Huh. What would that look like? What if I could be wealthy? What if I could achieve wealth? Huh. What am I thinking? What did I learn? What's ingrained in me from my young years, right? What did I pick up that is saying like, no, money is bad, or, no one loves you unless they're yelling, like we pick things up that are, as kids, we don't have post-operational logic, and we do the best with the information we're presented. And some of that information is garbage. And so, garbage in, garbage out. We piece things together, and this does not serve us. However, that crap hangs around, and that's your fundamental baseline of what's possible and how you can exist in this planet, because that's what you learned. And it's groove. Thoughts they're making grooves in your brain. Think of it like, what is it called? Erosion, right? You have a little bit of water trickling past. There's an episode of the Flintstones. I adore this. And Fred and Barney are standing there, and they're like, caveman outfits. And there's a trickle of water going by. And Barney is just like, hey, Fred, what's that? And he looks at it and he goes, the Grand Canyon, Barney. And it's like a 2-inch wide trickle just going past their toes. But that's how powerful repetition is. Repetition. That's how you make habits. And that's how you make beliefs to who you are. It's strangling me. Is repetition. Okay. So if you continually have that little voice saying like, no, you don't deserve that, and you don't fight back with, hang on, ugly. I beg to differ. I am worth every star in the sky. I am made of stardust. I am electrified water. I am a miracle simply by being. That's why we're worthy. Awesome. Okay, so from there, seeing what you want your future self to maybe improve on or whatever, like and rate your future self. What numbers do you want? Do you want a 10 out of 10? Are you just like, shish, I'm at a 4 in relationships. I need some work. I would be ecstatic if I could get it to a 6 or a 7 even. Woo-hoo. Like you can let your goals grow and develop. That's fine. But what do you want to improve in, right? Pick something. Okay, just one thing. And so then you're going to get to goal setting. So you have your goal, future badass you, right? With these numbers, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, crank it up to 11. And that's where you want to go. Okay, fantastic. Let's take that specific, okay, I mentioned relationships, all right? And you want to close the gap between now you and future you, right? We want to bring those together. And so honestly, it's you traveling to future you, right? You can see how that goes. Like, so if this is future you and this is now you, you're going to go up to meet it, right? Okay. Well, it's overwhelming to think, great, I'll just interact with human beings differently. That doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's start unraveling why. Let's start, considering, do you need some therapy? Is there maybe something you're not remembering or something you're misremembering? Memory is a tricky thing. And we at the core want to protect ourselves. So some memories might be, friends up the street instead of siblings, or another kid instead of a parent, or, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't wrap your mind as this little person that the person who made you, your parent, would ever do that, And for the ones of you that have good parents, God bless you. Lucky you. That's a lottery ticket in and of itself. Good for you. So you want to get specific. You want to take one category at a time, or trait, or, whatever measurable thing that you want to improve upon. And you're going to break it down. Okay. You can't just say, henceforth, I shall have golden relationships. I shall only speak my truth, and I shall be compassionate and forthright. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. But in reality, when somebody says something and you want to flick rubber bands into their empty head, you need to learn how to control this expression, your tone, your body language. I was shocked. Yeah. I learned this. I kid you not. Was it this year or last year? Like recently. I'm in my 50s. Like my whole goal here is to shave off decades of misery for other people, right? It can be done. But anyway, I learned, do you know something like 60, 70, 80% of communication is body language? Guess what the next big chunk of communication is? Intonation, inflection. That's why so many fights get started on like social media or texting, because like I'll text something and I think that's hilarious. And I'll get a text back like, I don't know why you would say that. And it's like, oh, yes, I can see how that would be misconstrued, as almost anything can be when there's no intonation, there's no body language, you don't put the LOL, or whatever, because you think the humor is just there bearing forth. And shockingly, I'm not universally hilarious. Every word from my mouth does not ring with humor, vivaciousness, whatever. So anywho, there's what I'm talking about, who knows, but one category at a time, and you're going to break that down. You want to have better relationships? Okay. When someone is annoying you, this is the step you're going to implement today. You're not going to react. You're going to box breathe. In for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. That is a tool, my friend, used by Navy frickin' SEALs to calm their nerves doing all the ridiculosity that they get to do. It'll work because, your coworker is spouting some nonsense, right? Just take a little vacation. You're getting some breathing. You're calming. You're in control. You may respond, and your response could be, oh, okay, I'll see you later. And you relocate yourself, just to end the conversation. Maybe you have to come back to your desk because, Chucklehead is right next to you. But you go to get a sip of water, go use the loo, go, beat your head against the window. No, don't do that. Look out the window and see something that is lovely, like growth, okay, clouds, sky, a building that houses industrious people, or you know what I'm saying? Like make up the backstory so it holds you up, right? So that's 2 things actually. But the first thing you're going to do on the first day might be the box breathing. Okay? Doesn't sound like much. And then you're going to keep practicing that until you go a whole day without reacting in the way you're trying to avoid. All right? And then the next thing you know, you're in control of your reaction. What? Didn't think it was possible? Oh yeah, it's possible. It's amazing. And you can be there and just be like, curious. Oh, I genuinely feel enraged. I'm completely triggered. My hands are trembling. I'm so angry. I'm giving myself a hot flash and I'm finished with menopause. Whatever it is, and you're not swept away. Right? And let me tell you right there, that just makes life so much easier. Like highly recommend, 55 out of 10 stars. Wonderful. So when you break things down into these small, achievable daily actions, right? You're not saying I'm not going to lose my temper with anyone, or I'm not going to spout something unkind, or whatever your reaction is that you're trying to change, right? I'm not going to have, a crappy expression and bad body language. Like, here we go again. Yeah. Oh, rolling eyes, sign of contempt, avoid at all costs. And so anyway, you're going to keep doing this and you're going to break it down until you get to a situation of being able to evaluate. It could be a period of time. Maybe you want to reevaluate in 12 weeks, in 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. And because look at your wins. You're going to be changing yourself. You are going to be explaining to your mind that you are separate from your emotions. Your thoughts do not hijack you and take you off on whatever tangents. You can have anxiety and just be like, oh, here we go. Yep, up, starting to sweat. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Yep, this is happening. Yeah, can't think straight. Breathe, box, breathe. And that will calm that fight, flight, or flee response and just allow you to be present with yourself and be kind to yourself. You're not the only person with a tsunami of emotion within you. The emotions are, that's the most oldest primitive part of our brain. That's why you talk about gut instincts. There's literally a part of our brain that links to our GI tract. And that's why your stomach can turn. That's why I had diarrhea for freaking 2 years, because I was married to an abusive twit. Live and learn. And guess what? A brutal round of therapy. And you know how I say everything is all around you? Guess what else was all around me? Wonderful people that I could partner with. Third time's the charm. You know, I'm here. I have my partner coming home. I can't wait to hear, hey, sweetie, in that lovely deep voice. You know, it can be had. And it might not be easy, or it might be. You could be totally different from me. You could be one of those people that makes up your mind and like, boom, it's done. I quit smoking because I told myself I'm not a smoker, or whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. But you're breaking down the gap into achievable, measurable steps. And you're working on it every single day, because that becomes a habit, and habits are what lead to excellence. It's not some innate, I'm just this wonderful, elevated, enlightened person, right? That's not truth. People who are excellent have very good habits. They don't get distracted. They stick to what they're doing. They focus, you know, and that's like literally physically challenging for me as my leg is flying under the desk. But I can do it now because I practice it, and I will stay on something until it's finished. I mean, I'll take breaks, and, you know, I take a break every hour. I do 10 squats and a plank for, my goal is a minute, not there yet, but that helps my body stay moving. It helps keep me alert. And by the end of the day, I've done like 80, 90, maybe even 100 not planks. Yeah, well, 10 of those and 100 because I've done 10 sets of 10 squats. That is an excellent habit. That makes me my better self. So glad you joined me on ZFG Living, the podcast. And welcome, welcome, welcome to my world. Please check me out, www.zfgliving.com, and on social media as ZFG Living. That's zero fucks given living. ZFG, baby. And my email is melissa@zfgliving.com. Hope to hear from you. Give me a shout. How do I stop it? Oh, man. Where's the thing? Oh, here we go.